I agree with you. And another question that comes to my mind right now, which is when we talked about like a self-love and self-confidence, oftentimes people think about we are being trying to be selfish, right? So people think about it's all about him or all about her. Why talking
Mhm.
about self-love? So can
Mhm.
you clarify that one? It's not about like being selfish, right? If we don't love each other,
No, so that's what
ourselves,
I
yeah.
mentioned when you asked me about self-love. I told you that it's not egotistical, it's not narcissist.
Yeah.
It's the contrary. It's healthy, because again, how do you love your children wholeheartedly if you don't love who you are?
Mhm.
It just, yes, you can. I'm not saying people don't love their children, but the type of love that you can actually touch is completely different, because then now you understand it. You're more compassionate, you're more kind, because you really understand what it means to really love something once
Yeah.
you love yourself. And then you can let that out to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Right now, people are just loving from a place of what was taught. Yeah, so I just feel
Yeah.
so yeah, I think that self-love or loving someone was taught from generations, but at what or the way I'm loving is the healthy way of doing it. And what example being, if you grew up in a family where your dad or mom beat one another, in your mind, you're thinking, oh, this is what love looks like.
Yeah.
So when you're an adult, your relationship, either somebody's hitting or screaming at one another. If not, somebody doesn't love someone. But in reality, that's very toxic and unhealthy. But nobody took a step back to say, okay, so this is not healthy. I don't want to teach that moving forward.
Yeah. So another question which has come like thinking about self-love and self-confidence. When we often try to look at ourselves, is it like a physical self-love we talk about, or is it mentally as well, mentally and emotionally? Like our spiritual soul, ourself. So is it all combined together, or just are we talking about physically?
So for me, I'm spiritual, but I don't want it to be only spiritual people can find self-love, because I think honestly, once you start to know who you are and you get the self-love you need, the spiritual part comes on its own.
Yeah.
But that's again someone else's journey. I don't want, that's a whole nother day of talking, so I don't want to go that deep. But I just the fact of self-loving yourself, you will open so many different avenues of trying to treat yourself right, be healthier, watch what you do to your body, pay attention to your body talking to you, because your body does speak to you if you're
Yeah.
listening, you know. And I know that sounds crazy, so let's just give an example so people don't think I mean physically talking. So if you get a headache or a fever,
Yeah.
clearly your body is saying something's wrong. So now you need to do the investigating to see what's happening. Am I catching a cold? Whatever. So that's what I mean when I say your body will talk to you. But we have to be kind to ourselves and compassionate. And what I tried to say to younger kids to make it make sense to them is, if I hear a kid like my son, we'll use my son, he's been saying recently, like, I'm a bad kid, or I hate myself.
Yeah.
But I'll ask him immediately, would you say that to one of your friends? Is that the words that you would use to talk to one of your friends? Immediately he's like, no, that's mean. Why would I say that?
Yeah.
So the same thing is, why would you say that to yourself? You
Yeah.
need to pay attention to how you speak to yourself. Would you speak to someone that you love that way? Absolutely not. And that's the first line, is that negative self-talk about who we think we are or what we can't do. That needs to be changed into a more positive space. And that's when the mindset shift changes.
Yeah. So that way, the more we're gonna love ourselves, that way, similar way, we're gonna build our self-confidence, right? So it's
Yep.
eventually work out. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, So what will our listeners, like those listening, what will be like a first step, like those who doesn't have any coach or consultant and they don't know like how to make that change, make the difference, how they can do it themselves, you know what I mean? Like some people doesn't want to hire a coach.
So my thing is guided meditation works for beginners. You can then go deeper into it, and that helps you release any stress that you've held on to prior. So
Yeah.
that will help being more clear. So then now you can start to see things for what it really is and not just be so busy you miss things.
Yeah.
2, use positive affirmations correctly. So when you have a bad day or you want to say something negative about yourself, immediately replace that with something good about yourself. That you are lovable, you are worthy, you are good enough. So that way your brain can start thinking in a more positive space. It's just like a muscle. The more you do it, the more it will just start doing it on its own.
Right.
Identify your capacities and develop them. So whatever you're good at, whatever comes to you easy, is typically probably your calling and purpose. Focus and hone in on that. Just watch it. If it is, doors will open that you don't expect to, and just go with it. But that will come with you having that more clear mind. And then learn to accept compliments from other people. So if somebody compliments you, accept it and don't feel vain or that you're not worthy to get those kind of compliments. Allow yourself to do that. Eliminate self-criticism and develop self-compassion and kindness for yourself.